our next guest is a man of many talents, Higgo van Biljon. He's the founder and CEO of 𝗏𝗵𝗵𝗶. Higgo is both a tech entrepreneur and a musician. He founded 𝗏𝗏𝗵𝗵𝗶 while studying at the University of Stellenbosch. And after having to put a pause to their signups due to the massive demand for their services, they've just relaunched with a new app, which is currently being used in 7 countries. Higgo, I absolutely love what you do, man. I openly admit to everyone that's tuned in, I'm an avid supporter and user of 𝗏𝗏𝗵𝗵𝗶, and it's really great to have you join us today.
Thanks so much, Joshua.
Cool. So just starting off easy, can you give us a short overview of what 𝗏𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗶 does and why it's important?
Yeah, so basically we aim to clear the way to financial freedom for Africa. That's the mission we are on, and we aim to do that by bridging the gap between financial education and execution. So all things finances, insurance, investing, credit, tax, all on one platform. So currently, if you look at the app, it can be summarized by the words, the curated Instagram for finances. So we connect various vetted industry experts that's creating educational content in various forms on the 𝗏𝗏𝗵𝗵𝗶 app. And we're just continuously developing new features to build closer to that mission of ours.
Amazing. Thanks for that. So anyone that meets you will immediately see you extremely passionate about fintech and the way that it can increase financial education and inclusion. Where do you believe this passion came from, and how important do you feel it is to be passionate about the problem that you're solving? After all, we know entrepreneurship isn't necessarily an easy ride.
Starting a business is very challenging, and in the tough times and the big decisions, it all boils down to, you know, the why, and the why comes from your passion. So I've always had a passion for, well, I've always hated poverty and seeing people in poverty, and I've also had a passion for growing wealth. So when I was in grade 7, I asked my dad, how can I buy a gold token? Because I want to put my money where my savings, where it will be more in 10 years time. And he told me rather look at investing in the stock market. And since then I was just a stock market fanatic, and just, you know, in school I used to put my phone in my pencil case and hide it from the teachers, just reading about investing and all of that. But as I did that, I also tried various hustles, selling 𝗏𝗏𝗿𝗏𝗏𝗏 and biltong to teachers and to the people in the hostels and various other hustles. Tried a few tech stuff as well. Most of them failed. So it was just this continuous learning development for me, with both regards to getting wealth or getting money, so accumulating money and then growing that money. Because I mean that's how you build wealth, is by getting it somewhere, whether it's a salary or a hustle, whatever, and then investing it, growing it from there. So it's always just been this interesting thing for me, but also passion to educate others and see others grow in their finances as well. So, you know, in that process, I also learned a lot from other people. So I took over my parents' pension fund when I was grade 9, and also joined a investment group. It sounds crazy. Joined an investment
Sounds
group.
Really crazy. I'm not sure too many parents would let their grade 9 a child take over their pension fund.
Oh, but
lots of trust.
Lots of trust. So I also joined a group of 9 other experts, investing experts, where we met once a month buying stocks collectively. And so it's just this continuous learning. But in that entire process, I also learned, you know, I wish I had this resource, I wish I had this tool, I wish I had this education, or I wish I didn't have to learn this the hard way. And it all built up to launching 𝗏𝗏𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗶.
Amazing. Many entrepreneurs choose to keep their ideas to themselves in fear of them getting stolen, and they attempt to build everything out internally, hoping to reap some kind of greater financial reward down the line. I know you've taken a slightly different approach with 𝗏𝗏𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗶. You've obviously partnered with software and design agency called 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, as well as a few industry leaders within the space like Easy Equities and 𝗍𝗲𝗏. Firstly, what are your thoughts on the concept of entrepreneurs keeping their ideas to themselves versus going out and actually talking to people about them? And how have you approached this?
Yeah, so I'm not afraid to share my ideas, because, you know, everyone has ideas, and you think you've got the next big idea, but without actually talking to people, first of all, you're not going to get partnerships, you're not going to get investors, you're not going to get feedback from potential users. And everyone is afraid of people is going to steal their ideas, but ideas are the easy part. Execution is everything, and that's where 90% of people fail. So if I have a next big idea, I'm willing to share it to our community. I'm willing to share it to partnerships, to anyone, because if they can execute it before us, then great, and then we can maybe see how we can partner. So ideas are easy, it's the execution that's difficult, and not sharing ideas is what will build your business, because essentially when you have customers, you sell the ideas that you have. When you want to partner with people, you sell ideas and also your roadmap. We are going to do this. For example, with 𝗬𝗍𝒻𝒂𝒑𝗊, before we launched our first version of the app in 2020, I already met with 𝗬𝗍𝒻𝒂𝒑𝗊 and I told them, we are going to do this. Let's partner. And then we partnered. Where if I was afraid that, they're this big company, they're just going to steal our ideas and run with it, we wouldn't have had that partnership that early on. And, I'm not afraid to share ideas. Obviously, getting contracts in place is important. Sometimes you need your non-disclosure documents when you speak to corporates and all of that. But when it's people, it's difficult to know who you can trust. But personally, I'm not afraid to share ideas. But when you are really sensitive about your information, make sure you have a non-disclosure in place or something that will protect you as well.
Amazing. Thanks for sharing that. How would you recommend some of the entrepreneurs that are tuned in, especially those who don't necessarily have access to large or wealthy networks, go about actually building a community or a network of like-minded individuals?
Before I launched 𝗏𝗵𝗇, since I was in high school, but nobody wanted to go on to meet, because I was just the ambitious kid that wants to network and get mentors. But I truly wanted to get mentors to teach me the business lessons. But obviously, those who you want to be mentored by are the people that are the busiest. And it wasn't until 𝗏𝗵𝗇 actually launched and had traction, they were willing to meet and mentor me. So building that network comes by doing things well. You need to be executing, you need to be doing well. That's just the bottom line. And because time is precious, especially for networks with successful entrepreneurs. But for them to notice you have to do something well, at least something. Even if you just have a website selling shoes, you're more likely to get a meeting with someone you are inspired by. So that's the first part. Do things and do things well. And the second part is don't be afraid to ask. So, even now still, when I reach for the stars with some individuals, 1 out of 20 will reply. So I get 19 out of 20 rejections, but that 1 out of 20 opens doors. Yeah. And constantly just and speak to people and building relationships and healthy relationships, not doing just things for yourself, but also adding value to them. It's a healthy relationship goes two ways. Are you helping them and they helping you? So build healthy relationships, reach out to people, don't be afraid to get rejected, and also do things well and execute them well.
Cool. I really like that. I mean, and it goes directly into actually using the app itself. So you obviously, you're passionate about it. You're on the app every day, and then you see the potential problems within the app and say, we can improve this, or we can add to that, or we can expand on this feature. So by using it every day, by surrounding yourself with it, you are able to then actually see these additional opportunities which are in it. Maybe just taking a step back from 𝗏𝗵𝗇 quickly, I'd like to gauge your thoughts on approaching entrepreneurship as a first-time founder. What do you think some of the most common mistakes aspiring entrepreneurs generally make when starting out?
Probably being a sole founder. I would probably start businesses on my own again in the future, but it's probably best not to, because you really need some inner motivation at times, because when you're two people starting the business, 2 or 3, I wouldn't say more than 3, because then it just gets complicated, but 2 or 3, then if the one is struggling or going through struggling to find motivation, and that's the one part, is that motivation part. Then you can help each other, and the strong people can help the weak, and the weak will obviously feel the benefits from the strength, from strong ones. So that's the first part. The second part is different skills. When you're a sole founder, you have to be so good at so many things. You have to be good at products. You have to be good at marketing, at legal stuff, at technical stuff. So there's just too many things that you don't want to face burnout in building a startup. And there's been many times where I think I'm burned out, and when you have a team, that just helps. So obviously when you're a sole founder and you get to build a team, if you have the resources, obviously that's amazing. But in the initial phases, doing everything on your own is really challenging. Obviously choosing a co-founder is not easy, because you're basically getting into a business marriage with him. It's not something you can just shake off. So you have to be also very extremely careful with choosing a co-founder. So preferably someone but yeah, so sole founder is difficult, but it's not impossible.
Amazing. I love that, man. Yeah, congrats on the engagement. Firstly, congrats on the funding round. I know you guys are set for some really big things. There's just two quick questions here from Zelda. She was just asking what the name 𝗏𝗵 means and how the app works practically. I know we didn't dive into the app too much. It was more of your kind of journey and your thoughts on entrepreneurship. So if you're happy to just talk to the name 𝗏𝗵 and the app, and then we can close off from there.
Yeah, so 𝗏𝗵 is just basically finance me up, so growing you in your financial life. So that's just finance me up, 𝗏𝗵. And it was just an idea, I think, like most names, not meaning too much, but I mean, now it's here where we are. And now the app practically works is, if you download the app, the same as Instagram, you have a news feed where you can view posts from vetted mentors. So we curate the mentors, so not anybody can post on the app. So you can get educational topics on credit, on tax, on budgeting, on passive income, and the big one is investing. So there's also lots of research for stock market, or the main stock market highlights of both South Africa and the US. So that's currently, and in July there's a new features, including a chat functionality where users can ask us questions if they have any questions about their finances or about whatever. There's also a cool shuffle feature. So we are working on a few exciting things, but basically all it takes is a few minutes a day on the app, and you'll be more educated financially.
Awesome. Thanks for the overview there. I know we have about 80 people tuned in, so hopefully you get some more signups off the back of this chat as well. Just for everybody that is on, it is free to sign up, and then there are kind of paid subscriptions as well, where you can increase the amount of information that you receive on the app, and unlock a few additional features. So I definitely recommend checking that out. And yeah, we'll certainly link to your personal and your company profiles. Thank you so much for joining us and for sharing some of your story. Obviously wishing you all the best, and looking forward to staying in touch and keeping eyes on how the 𝗏𝗵 story unfolds.
Thanks, Joshua. Thanks for the opportunity. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.
Go, have a great one, Higgo. All the best.